Hello, everyone. Is the Prophet Michael David, aka Aries, and today is my third Aries birthday. So, thank you very much. So, for today, because it is my birthday, um, I'm going to do some teaching at the end about what I'm working on because this is a teaching channel and I am a teacher. But I am going to do a little bit of a monologuing up front about the current world and today specifically about academia. So I am obviously not an academic, and I honestly do not like them very much. But there was a time in the past when my work was less developed, but I was very close to some of the breakthroughs that I've obviously made. I did try to go to some mathematicians to get their help or even to review my work, but I got a whole lot of I can't prove you wrong, but I have papers to grade. Um, so after that experience, I said, fuck those guys and swore that I would never go back to them again. And it's probably one of the reasons why it manifested into the YouTube channel. And while I appreciate all my viewers, I really do, I thought it would blow up faster than it has. So that being said, today being my third Aries birthday, I decided to change tact a little bit. On a personal level, I went to go to see somebody that I've cared very much about that I haven't seen for a very long time, and it went great. Um, but on the mathematical prophetic side, I decided to go back to the well one more time. But I decided to go back to supposedly, the best. And I will explain right now. Okay, so what I did was firstly, I tried to call MIT, the math department, and see if there would be any mathematician that would speak with me. But that didn't work out, and I ended up on the website, realizing that I would have to play the email game. And so I decided to write an email to three of the mathematicians at MIT at their posted websites. And while I'm not going to give you their uh, full names or any of their other personal information out of common courtesy, I will tell you their first names. And it was Daniel, Henry, and Andrew. So I emailed them all and emailed saying that I had solved the twin prime conjecture, the Collatz conjecture, and then the conjectures on perfect numbers as well, and that while I hadn't attached those proofs, that I did attach my sine number or my sine equation, my approximation for pi, which is this. All right, so here's my logic. People from MIT, both students and faculty, have the reputation for being some of the most, you know, vicious problem solvers in the world. So if they can see that and they're obviously not going to be able to figure it out, or I would highly doubt they are. That's this whole thing. It's one person on YouTube with 17 subscribers. Love you guys against all of MIT, and I'm not really worried that they're going to be able to. They can calculate it much better than I can. I've already said that I don't know how many decimal places it's good out to, but they could figure that out for me, which is nice. But they're not going to be able to figure out how I constructed it, which I've described on this video before, so you guys can know something that MIT can't figure out. But that's my philosophy. All right, that's as much soapbox I'm going to do today as it is my birthday. And so now I'm going to tell you guys what I've been working on. All right, we've already talked about this many times before, but as a prime number theorist, I break down primes into mod 6 lines pretty much all the time because, again, they only fall on the 1 mod 6 line and the 5 mod 6 line. And so that's the graph I use most of the time. My coloring is for 1 mod 6 primes is green, 7 mod 6 aka, and 5 mod 6 primes are always blue. and then the pink ones are factors of primes, which in that screenshot is squares. But we've talked about this before, how the primes and the factors of the primes and the growth rate are not symmetrical. And there's this fight between when you include all the factors of the primes, where when you take the admorials, uh, the primes added up together, so it goes from even to odd, even to odd, even to odd, that when you have more 1 mod 6 primes, the graph tends to go up, and when you have 5 mod 6 primes, it tends to go down. I know it sounds complicated, but I graphed this, and this is going to look like noise, but I'm just going to show you how you can problem solve your way out of this. So when I graph those, which way does it go? This is what it looked like. See, now look, that looks like random noise, but if you look closely, it's a lot of data, but most of the lines go smoothly from one mod line to the next. That's the numbers on the y-axis and everything. The only disjoint is at the top when 6 goes to 1 or 1 goes to 6, and that's really only because you're thinking in totally Euclidean geometry, flat in just that dimension, that we could go up to like 7 if we know the tendency if it goes up or down. And when you do that analysis, you can get it to look a lot more normal. So that's the spreadsheet, or the type of spreadsheet I made to analyze how the admorial changed from different mod lines as it got larger. I did two different types. I did one with just the primes, and then I did one with the primes and their factors, which, like in that screenshot, is the pink ones. Those are factors of primes, squares, cubes, stuff like that. And then I did this mod analysis on both of them to see what they look like, but I didn't just restrict it to 6. If I knew it had a tendency to go up, I let it go up to 7, 8, not, that would be 7 mod 6, 8 mod 6, 9 mod 6, like that. And if it had a tendency to go down, I did the other way. So, and this is what those graphs look like. Okay, so that's the graph for the mod analysis for just the admorials with just the primes. That's what JP stands for, is just the primes. And as you can see, there's a downward trend to that graph. And I will admit, because of the 0, it might be distorted a little bit. And that's why I'm definitely going to have to do some hand drawings for the non-Euclidean stuff as well. But yeah. And that graph is the mod analysis of the admorials. If you include the powers, the WP means with powers. I probably should have picked a different nomenclature because of the P, but stuck with it, I guess. So if you include the powers in the admorials, then the trajectory goes up, and you can kind of tell by the slope of it that it's very similar to the downward trajectory of the admorial if you just add the primes. And so, yes, of course, I did an average of the two. And as you can see, it comes out to be, it looks very waveformy, but very symmetrical. Disclaimer here is this is only up to the first 500th admorial, which is right around a million, maybe. But they do go up very fast, not like exponential stuff because you're adding numbers, but the numbers are also getting larger, and your initial number you're adding to it is getting larger as well. Um, so I probably will go farther with this. I'm not trying to break my computer and everything, but just to see if that symmetry and that wave-like nature persists into the future, or if it gets erratic and noisy. So lastly, I did a little bit of mod 6 analysis where I just did like video game land and figured it would just like wrap around top to bottom to find out when those two lines, you know, with the primes and with the just the primes and with the powers, when they were overlap and be the same mod line, it would be like an interference pattern. And that's You can see I just did it with colors and everything, you know. Blue and green are those two lines, and then when they are the same mod line, yeah, I made it gold. And that second screenshot is out to as many numbers that I've drawn the pattern out to at this time. And again, it's another one of those where I'm going to draw it out farther to see if I can find any patterns, but it looks kind of rando right now. Okay, quickly before I sign off, I'm going to do a little bit of philosophy on why I'm taking this route right now. I'm doing it because I do think it's related to the Riemann hypothesis. The Riemann hypothesis has to do with primes. Hardest part with me is it's so transcendental, I can't use any of my normal tricks. Um, but what I think it actually is that it's an interference pattern in between the 1 mod 6 line and the 5 mod 6 line, and this relationship between the density of the primes and prime factors on the 1 mod 6 line versus the density of the prime and prime mod factors on the 5 mod 6 line, and also the rate of growth of the 5 mod 6 line against the 1 mod 6 line. I know that all sounds incredibly complex, but it's all related and it's all stuff that I have described to you. But all of it together will make any number seem transcendental or so large that it is transcendental. So somehow in those Riemann zeta zeros, there is the information of the primes, which means you got to be able to go the other way. All right, signing off for the day. Once again, thank you very much. If you watch this video and wish me a happy birthday, thank you very much. And number two, as always, rule number one, do not touch other people without their consent, aka do not hurt each other. And rule number two, it's all about honesty. Lies are ticked down. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.